Left insists that we must acknowledge all variations. For instance, we must use inclusive gender language, but then it's okay to make huge generalizations about someone's gender. Why? I'll explain it. Check out this generalization. White people should not use the N-word. That's not particularly controversial. Now, recently, I went to see Sinners. There were white actors in that movie that used the N-word. I can still say white people shouldn't use the N-word and understand that the context in which those actors were saying it was permissible. I know that that generalization, which most of the time holds true, was not about them. So when people say one of the most dangerous things to young women are young men, which they did say when I was a young man, it was very easy for me to know that that meant, in the broader context of the statistics that we have, that is the case. But it wasn't about me, because I wasn't going out looking for anybody to hurt. Generalizations are easy to make when people understand that context allows for exceptions. And what my previous video was about is that it is concerning that so many young white men don't understand this. Because it's not the case that all young white men don't understand this. There are plenty of young white men on the left who are perfectly fine with saying, yeah, young white men are pretty dangerous. They don't include themselves in that. They're not self-hating. They understand the exceptions for context. But for some reason, conservative young white men don't. Which is why I said there needs to be introspection, where people wonder why they can't divorce themselves from that statement. Because we make generalizations all the time, knowing that they aren't 100% literal. People are asking, why do you say all men? Because sometimes I say, man, I'm always working. That doesn't mean that I'm literally always working, that every single second of every single minute of my life is spent working. No, I sleep, I eat, I hang out. But if I'm being overworked, I might say I'm always working. The context makes it clear. So the left never said you can't make generalizations. The left just has enough self-introspection to know when they're being talked about. If you or other people like you don't, you should examine that. I don't know why. Only you can tell me why that is the case. But when I hear the statement, all men are a danger to women, my brain simply processes it as statistically there has been a lot of violence towards women by men. So it's a reasonable assumption. It doesn't process that as, I am man, bad, wrong. Oh, and by the way, the left doesn't insist that we acknowledge all variations, whatever that means. Pronouns and gender language is really just simple. If someone wants you to call them something, you call them something, 'cause it's nice. Dana Carvey did a bit once about how Sting's real name is Gordon. You call someone what they want to be called. It's just that simple. That's just respect. Then if you want to turn around and say, okay, I don't want to be called a sexual predator then, cool. When I say all men, I'm not talking about you. Why do you keep making it about you? That's the question I'm asking you to ask yourself. And come to think of it, preferred gender language, that also comes down to it being about you, doesn't it? Because I look at someone and go, what do they want to be called? And then I call them that. And you look at someone and say, why are they forcing me to call them something? Because it's not about you.